also hasn't been the same player since his rookie year. He had a torn meniscus in 2020. He had a torn labrum in his shoulder in 2021, which limited his performance. Still was out there on the field, but he's recovering from that surgery this offseason. I could make an argument that Budda Baker, Harrison Smith, Micah Hyde, and Jordan Poyer all put together better seasons than Derwin James. A little bit overrated. He's number 4 in the safeties list. Doesn't belong there. Staying in Southern California, let's go with Khalil Mack.
Wow.
The return of the Mack. Well, we hadn't seen him in 2018. That was the last time he had a double-digit sack season. So everybody thinks that this is the guy that won Defensive Player in 2016. That's not the guy that's showing up in Southern California. Now, he's going to benefit from having Joey Bosa on the other side, but you can look at other edge rushers, Trey Hendrickson, Cam Jordan, guys that should be considered. Hell, even his teammate Robert Quinn in Chicago, who had 18.5 sacks last year, not on Jeremy Fowler's list. I'm sorry, Khalil Mack, a little bit overrated. Keeping it pushing, a little giant-on-giant crime. I hate to do it to my guy Saquon because he's such a good guy on the field and all, but this is a running back that doesn't understand the value of a 4-yard run. He's always looking to hit a home run. And here's the other thing. He's a liability in pass protection. 15 games over the last 2 years, hadn't cracked 1,000 yards when you combine his numbers from both of those seasons. And if you look at his career arc, it's trending down. And I'm sorry, Ryan, running backs don't get healthier as they get older. The Giants have had double-digit loss season after double-digit loss season since they drafted this dude in 2018. They're not getting the return on investment. Saquon Barkley, overrated. Wow. All right, Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, my God.
Everybody keeps talking about the Carolina Panthers and how they're having this resurgence this year. And Christian McCaffrey, if he stays healthy. Well, Ryan, that's a big if. We're talking about Saquon Barkley only playing in 15 games the last 2 years. This dude is only playing in 10. He's only played in 10 games. At some point, we got to stop assigning health to this dude. I'm sorry, he's a dynamic player when he's on the field, but he's not on the field nearly enough. Herm Edwards said it best. The best ability is availability. Christian McCaffrey not nearly available enough. Could potentially force his coach Matt Rule to get fired this year.
Ouch.
Number 1 on the list.
Yes.
Because we are Get Up.
Yes.
We have to meet our daily quota of talking about the Dallas Cowboys. So you know who it is. It's Rain Dakota Prescott. And listen, he checked in at 10 on Jeremy Fowler's list. Yeah. Listen, I don't know if he's one of the 12 best quarterbacks in the National Football League. I could go with Lamar Jackson. I could go with Derek Carr. People make arguments about Kirk Cousins. All I'm simply saying is this. Dak Prescott, this guy's got to find a way to be able to get it done when it matters most in the postseason. They lost a home playoff game to a quarterback that the San Francisco 49ers spent 3 first-round draft picks trying to replace in Jimmy Garoppolo. At some point, Dak, you got to be able to get it done. They gave you a $160 million contract. All you've got to show for it is 1 playoff win. You got to be better than that. You can make the argument since 2016, no quarterback has done less with more. Dak Prescott, number 1 on the list. And that's infamous. Of course it is what it is. I don't want to be disrespectful, but we got to call it like we see it on Get Up.
All due respect, Dak Prescott, you're number 1 on the overrated
I told
list.
Violence on Friday.
You sure did. My gosh, Brooke, do you agree?
You know, the point that you made that he has done less with more, it's funny, though, because this season, I think for him to lose this overrated tag, he's got to get to a Super Bowl. But that means that he has to do more with less because since they spent all that money on him, they've lost some of their top guys like Amari Cooper. So I hate to say it. I do agree, although, you know what, if it's my rankings, which is not, this is all you, this is all of your Twitter smoke that you're going to get. I want no part of this.
You want none of that.
I would put Christian McCaffrey number 1 because of the availability factor, because every single year I hear, whether it's in league conversations, in fantasy football conversations, take Christian McCaffrey, he's going to be a game changer, and then he's on the bench more than he's on the field.
I got to go to Lewis now on Dak. Dak, what do you think about that?
Come on, Chris. Chris, come on now. Come on now. This seems like a real emotional ranking right there with Dak Prescott. Look, we can't continue to individualize the game of football in the way in which we do, especially when we're talking about quarterbacks, when we know, based on what you just said, he needs to do more when it matters the most in order to get his team over the hump. Do you remember the defenses he played with under Mike Nolan? Do you remember what we did on this show to Mike Nolan, to the Dallas Cowboy defenses when they were coached by Mike Nolan? Do you remember how bad they were from a personnel perspective? Do you know, objectively speaking, where Dak ranks in terms of QBR, passer rating, completion percentage above expectation, touchdown interception ratio against the blitz? This guy he's in the top 5, top 6 in all these categories. So look, I understand that the expectation for Dak Prescott is always for him to be better than what he has been in terms of winning when it matters the most. But this is a team game, man, because individually, his stats are deserving of him being at least top 10. At least top 10.
Lewis, that sounds good, man, but at some point we got to stop blaming all the other aspects of the team and start looking at the quarterback. We blame Jason Garrett.
But
we
Chris,
wanted
you
to
know
blame
that's
Mike
the case,
McCarthy.
though.
No, hold on. Let me finish, Lewis. Here's the thing. We wanted to blame all these other aspects. You're talking about a quarterback that's had a rushing champ. You're talking about a quarterback that's been supported with a defense that had led the NFL in turnovers and takeaways, creating extra possessions for him. And yet Dak Prescott can't deliver when it matters
last
most.
year.
I respect Dak Prescott. I think he's a great quarterback. You can win with him. But now you're going to have to win a different way, and that's going to require him elevating the talent around him. And that's not something that we've necessarily seen from him throughout the course of his career.
Guys, I want to get Mike T in this. Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Dak Prescott is underrated, but for reasons that have nothing to do with the stat sheet. I think his presence, his demeanor, his leadership, his intangibles is a galvanizing force for that organization. Given all the turmoil that Chris and Lewis just alluded to, illustrates my point. Imagine where this franchise would be without Dak Prescott and how difficult it would be to replace him. It's really hard to get a franchise quarterback who somebody is as beyond reproach as Dak is. Of course, I'd like to see more.
And Brooke, and we add in Mike Tannenbaum to join the conversation. And Brooke, what are players saying about this competitive part of Brady? Because it looked like he was out for good, and then he came back so quickly, and it seems like this is why.
I mean, there's so many signature Brady competitive moments, but my mind immediately goes to the 2020 Super Bowl when he just absolutely got inside Tyrann Mathieu' head. Tyrann Mathieu' a great trash talker. Brady's a great trash talker, and he single-handedly won that one. I mean, talking with Mike Evans afterward, Mike Evans said, yeah, we love that. Like, all of us, we all kind of got rallied up because of that competitive fire. Brady, clearly, he is motivated by that kind of drive. I think that's something that really does drive him. He's not going to find something away from football that satiates that competitive fire. We're not going to see him doing celebrity boxing. Golf doesn't quite cut it, so he's got to keep going back to the well, keep playing football till the wheels come off.
Celebrity boxing, Tom Brady. I would love to see that. Please make that happen, someone. Mike Tannenbaum, what do you think about Tom Brady's comments here? And not only that, how long he continues playing?
Yeah, I really agree with what Brooks said. I think he's close to the end, but he is a world-class competitor, and unfortunately I have about 2 decades worth of scar tissue between the Jets and the Dolphins. And, you know, the times we had success against him, it was just trying to hit him. We tried to make him uncomfortable, but he would chase down interceptions, fumble recoveries. This guy is a world-class competitor. And there's his guy, Rob Gronkowski, that'll be active by November 1st, who will come out of retirement like a lot of people do to play with Tom Brady. So there's no doubt that they have a great chance to win it. And that's what he is. He is a world-class competitor that makes everybody else around him better. And that's why last year, Ryan, in particular, we saw all those former Patriots want to play with him because he makes it fun, he makes it competitive, and it's a great environment to thrive in if you're a player.
Wait, you dropped a little nugget in there. You think Gronk's coming back by mid-season, you say?
Ryan, 100%. Ask Chris Canty, what veteran wants to go to training camp? And there's no chance that when Tom Brady calls him up after Halloween and says, Gronk, we need you 20 plays a game, third down in red zone, whatever you want, they'll pay you. He's not going to say no to that.
Wow. Okay. Let's see how that plays out. Canty, what do you think?
Mike T's not wrong. I mean, playing 20 games is a lot. Playing 8 to 10 games, that's a different story. So I could absolutely see a world where
no training camp,
where Gronk comes back right around the Tampa Bay Buccaneers bye week, which is around Thanksgiving. It's week 11, so it's a perfectly positioned bye week to get Gronk reacclimated. But guys, I mean, there is no timeline on Tom Brady retiring. Think about this. The guy stepped away from football for a month and a half, and I think it's safe to say that the daddy daycare didn't go well when he did that. And so the reality is that he's playing the best football of his career. This has been the best 2-year span of his career down in Tampa. Think about it. 10,000 yards passing. You're talking about 83 touchdowns to 24 interceptions. He is at the height of his powers. And anybody that's any good at anything, why would you want to walk away when you're that good? So I don't necessarily see this as Tom Brady's swan song, his last year, his last dance. I think we could be talking about Tom Brady playing several more seasons. And what Tampa has done in terms of rebuilding that offensive line after the retirement of Ali Marpet and Alex Cappa leaving in free agency, they